Welcome back to the program this morning. We apologize for the break in transmission. Welcome back. Okay, my name is Trocon Flammer. I've been sitting here this morning up to 10 o'clock. I wish now I'm going to hand down this program. We've been having an incredible interaction. Sorry, we did not take your calls, but your calls can still be reserved. We have our guest in studio this morning, and it is good that you stay tuned because so much more that we're gonna be talking along with our guests here this morning. They are from the fisheries community, and they're gonna be telling us why is it important uh, for the fisheries sector of Liberia, how Liberians can secure their own resources to help better the lives of ordinary people. They are here and they're going to be talking to us on transparency in the sector. So let me try to bring our guests on this morning on the program. Wherever you're listening from, this is Spoon FM 107.5, Fabric 101.1 FM, and Super 95.5. We've been having an incredible show this morning talking about some of those national issues. We're sorry for the break again. So, welcome. I would like to welcome my guest, beginning with Mr. Sa. Mr. Sa, welcome. You
Thank you so much, Trocon. My name is Ibrahim Ensar. I work for the National Fishery and Aquaculture Authority, and my position is the manager of the Fishery Monitoring Center. We are the people that monitor the land and breadth of the Liberia coastline from Cape Mount to Cape Palmas. All fishing activities is being monitored at the center.
okay? Ongo Fire.
Yeah, my name is Augustine Fire. I work for the Environmental Justice Foundation. I'm the program officer.
Okay. And next, Mr. Kanswa.
Okay, thank you, and it's a pleasure to be here today. My name is Morris W. Kamswa. I'm the capacity building, CBO capacity building officer at the Environmental Justice Foundation.
Okay. Good to hear you. We will go strictly into business, and maybe we can begin with the program officer to tell us about this initiative, why transparency is key into the fisheries sector, especially the management and all of that. But you will bring us up to speed. What breeded this idea, you know, about transparency in the sector, and then we can go for.
Yeah, thank you very much. Firstly, let me say a little about EGF.
Mhm.
EGF is an international NGO that is headquartered in London with offices around the world in over 15 countries. So we are in the US, we are in Asia, we are in Africa, and then in Africa here, we in Liberia, Ghana, Cameroon, Senegal. Yes, we work with fishing communities. We work with fishery stakeholders to be able to promote sustainable fishery management. Yeah, and then combat IUU. So all of these activities will lead to the management of fishery resources and then improving the life of the communities that that protect the resources. We have been in Liberia since 2012, working with NAFA and the fishing communities. Currently, the project we are working on is called the Communities for Fishery Project. It started since 2019 December, and then it will be ending this year by December. This year, December 12th.
Mhm.
Yeah. The Committee for Fishery Project established 7 CMA that we call the Collaborative Management Association. I will not go too much in detail because of time, so I just want to just give some little bit summary.
Mhm.
And then we also set up 33 very saving loans, and then each of the VSLA they contain 13 women. And the purpose of this VSLA is to empower the women economically and also use the platform to be able to participate in fisheries governance.
Mhm.
So beside economic empowerment, but they are also there to manage the fishery resources that will be able to that they are using to support themselves and improve their lives. And then EGF is also involved into sea turtle conservation and shark conservation. So basically, this is what EGF is doing in Liberia. And to give you a little bit background on the whole issue of transparency in the sector. Uh, it, it is not just in the fisheries sector, but transparency in everything that we do is very key. So, as an NGO working in Liberia to support government, to support our, to work with stakeholders in the in fishery governance, we believe that it's important to promote transparency. And then the institution that we work with, NAFA, you know, yeah, they have been doing well, when it comes to sustainable fishery management. But we believe that there are a lot more to be done in the sector. So the whole transparency issue is actually as a result of the Global Charter for Fisheries Transparency. It's a kind of is a set of 10 principles. Yeah, 10 policy principles designed to be adopted by government globally in their laws and in practice. So not just in law, but it must be practicalized. These principles address the lack of transparency in three critical areas. Number one, the vessel information, fishing activities, governance, and management. So these are key areas that we believe that government around the world, including Liberia, should be able to adapt the principles to be able to promote transparency in the sector. But along the line, it has become evident that in order to motivate, support, and monitor government in providing access to fishery information, long-term activities, are needed. Now, in this context, the Fisheries Transparency Initiative and the Coalition for Fishery Transparency, they were established as two separate initiatives with the objective of improving fishery transparency. So the FRTR is a global multi-stakeholder partnership that bring together representatives from government, industries, companies, fishing companies, small scales, fishing associations, civil society, intergovernmental organizations all over the world. And the World Bank, FAO, everybody coming together to be able to work and promote transparency in the sector.
Okay, if I can, can I support him?
Yeah, you can come in, Councillor.
Okay, so thank you, and thanks to my colleague, Mr. Fire. So he spoke lengthily about the issues of transparency and the origins of EGA involvement into this global intervention. As you may be aware, fishing is one of the oldest practices, economic practices, whether you may call it artisanally or at a small scale level, within the community level. And EGA be one of those international organizations have been in Liberia for the period 2012, like Mr. Fire mentioned. And our work have involved around supporting the government of Liberia to enhance and strengthen our fisheries sector. And how we doing it? Part of it is what we have established already local organizations and local CBOs that is helping the government to manage this sector. But it's key that transparency become highlighted within this sector. And he spoke about it today, but key areas of look at the issue of credibility. We also look at the issues of the information that we want to share within the sector is to be information that can be used. So the usability of these informations are very key within the sector because you could provide any data, but are the data actually validated? Can they be used to enhance the sector? So that's a critical issue, and that's why we are here today to create awareness and educations about transparency within the fishery sector. We know that the National Fishery and Aquaculture Authority is doing a lot, but we feel that more need to be done. And how they can do is by creating some of the educations within the sector as it relates to fishery sector. We also look at issues of governance because and this is where the government through our engagement with the house to try to promote, they have established the collaborative management association to help govern the fishery sector. So you see that now, and the what we call the Collaborative Management Association, before our listeners, is a model of governance that bring fishery users at the local level and policymakers to come together to share responsibility to manage this sector properly. So that is why today the Environmental Justice Foundation is here to highlight the issues of governance in terms of data and the credibility of those data that we'll be providing to the public. And if we do that, it will enhance public debate. And that is what we want in this sector. People should understand what is happening in this sector and how can it promote public debate in this current fisheries, because we have one of the longest coastal line. All of 15 counties, we have 9 of our counties around the coastal line, and you have almost 70 to 100 plus thousand human beings that livelihood depend on the sector. And if you consider our economic sector right now, if you don't protect the area, you'll be taking a lot of different jobs. So it's better that we enhance transparency, build trust in the sector so that people can feel more welcome and understand how the sector works.
Okay. We'll move forward to
So thank you very much. Thank you, Chokon. So NAFA, as the regulator said, is doing more in order to really bring about transparency within the fishery sector. As I told you, the National Fishery and Aquaculture Authority has established the Fishery Monitoring Center that is actually monitoring all fishing activities within the coastline. And if you look at the global charter that Mr. Fire just spoke about, the talk about vessel, NAFA has actually done the best by making sure that all vessels activity, vessels informations are really digital. If you look at it, most of the vessels that you see blessing in our fishery water, their list is published on our website, and these websites are available to people who are very willing to do it. So if you look at NAFA now, everything about NAFA is digital. If you want to apply for lesson, it's digital. So NAFA is actually doing well, and we are using this transparency to actually fight IUU fishing activity. Because without this, you will not fight IUU. And if at all you are fighting IUU, it engage you, it negate you to actually give how many cases of IUU activity you have prosecuted. And you can rest assured that every case with the heads of EGF we have prosecuted is available on the website.
Okay. Okay, and then we will have to move forward to let me go back to the
artisanal fishers,
I'm talking about in terms of assisting you to do the work because they are the authority.
Oh
on
no,
the government on the side. of the
NAFA,
government in terms of working with you.
NAFA don't have like money. NAFA don't give money to EGF to say, "Oh, help us to do this."
Okay.
EGF go out there, source our funding, and come back, to work with NAFA, work with the fishing communities to be able to, enhance the sector in areas in combating IUU, and then building the capacity of the local fishing communities so that they will be able to monitor their local fishery resources.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay,
So actually, Trogon, what NAFA really does is to collaborate and partner with international and local NGO like EGF. Like
that was my point.
Yeah,
what collaboration?
So
because you are the authority here from the government.
So we collaborate with them, and in transparency, NAFA will not do all. So what EGF is actually doing is creating some level of transparency that NAFA, in collaboration with NAFA, like for example, the formation of co-management association, where the local are really going to have access in managing the natural resources. So with the collaboration that is between NAFA and EGF, it serves as one issue of transparency in the fishery sector.
Okay.
Let me inject something there before my colleague come in. If you look at NAFA law, the 2019 law, it gave room, a spare out there that look, NAFA should go about establish co-management association. So EGF said, well, I think this is a good thing, but then I mean, let's support them. The EU provided the funding. This funding was provided by the European Union that are working on and to establish the co-management. We set up 7 co-management associations in 4 counties. And then that was done in collaboration with NAFA, in collaboration with the Coast Guard when it comes to other capacity enhancement. You understand? And then setting up the VSLA to promote women participation in fishery governance. All of these things were done jointly, with support from NAFA, support from the Coast Guard, and EGF technical team, and also our colleagues outside. And then we also introduced the Darcy app. Yeah, the Darcy app. The Darcy app is used by the local fishermen. So we NAFA, EGF arranged, and then it was showcased, and they said, "Look, I think this tool is good. It will also help to reduce conflict among our fishermen because the app report I suspected IUU activities at sea that is captured by the fishermen, and uploaded on the dashboard that is monitored by NAFA. And then if they see any violation there, NAFA will immediately, take action. Yeah. So, but today our focus is, look, there's a need that, NAFA do more in terms of promoting transparency. They are doing well. They need to do more so that to be able to address this issue of the yellow card, that was awarded NAFA since 2017. So we as partner, we need to sit with them, work around Mamela work together as a family, let's work together as a team, so that we can see what are the issues and how the issue can be addressed, in what way they can be addressed, and then be able to find the mitigating actions towards them, which we believe they are key. So all of these things fall under the 10 principles, that government, Liberia, including Liberia, committed themselves to. 79 countries from Africa, America, everybody committed themselves that between 2023 to 2025, that the goal of fishery transparency should be met. And how can that be done? Through collaboration.
Okay.
Yes.
So Councillor, going to the communities, the fishery communities in the various counties, what do you hear from the local fishermen in terms of this big war here called transparency? What they tell you?
I think, well, thank you again, Tricom. These people are very excited, and we know that prior to the coming of the authority right now, the local people have had their own way of managing the sector. So to enhance transparency in these efforts, with the engagements of the European Union through Environmental Justice Foundation, we have managed to, like we said, establish the people in the more formal way through a process called the Collaborative Management Association. So at the moment, we're looking at how can the authority kind of practice the transparency issues. And the transparency can be practiced more effectively by the National Fishery Aquaculture Authority through more promoting the issues of visibility and publicizing data. For example, we need information on stock data in terms of based on our water now. Can we quantify our fish stock? These all countries have data on it. They can tell, and they monitor these informations, and based on that, investors can come. So, for example, catch data. If we understand the stock, we also have to understand the catches that we make and put into the market. It's very critical for economic drafts, because if you have to attract public investor, these are data you can use to sell. So it's very key. And the other issue is, how can we promote subsidies to kind of strengthen small scale features? Because you rather have the front team and the crew. Even though not everyone are crewmen, but that's been the name given. If you better man or basserman, allow you fishing, call you crew fisherman. So public will have the crew fishermen and the front team fishermen, people coming from Ghana, which is dominant within the sector at the small scale level. So how can we subsidize them and increase the economic strength so they can compete with industrial features? That would be a key issue for us to do to enhance transparency. And these are things that we cannot do as partners. It's the authority, the National Fishery Aquaculture Authority, can provide this kind of information, conduct the kind of stock assessment, ensure that people around collecting data on catches around the various coastal lands and landing points. So these are practices we believe, as partner to environmental justification to the authority, can try to practice the issues, because even though there are some data online about the type of vessels operating, but do we have data on, for example, small scale features? Even though collect lessons from them, is it public? If there are data, is the data public? These are questions, and that's what about say transparency should create public debate. Do we know, if, for example, the number of subsidies being given, they say in kinds, material, in catch? These are issues, and that's why we feel that NAFA can use the information, this kind of platform, to enlighten the public about the issues of transparency.
Okay, you want to come in?
Yeah, let me just add to what my colleague said. Since the beginning of this project, we have conducted research, the VSLA research, impact, the stakeholder analysis, the vulnerability of women in the sector, documented. And if we come here, we say, oh, EG have done this, they have done this. Where are the reports? Are these reports made public? You understand? Now we talk all the Google thing, but where can we find the report? Everything you say, where is it? Is it accessible? Now when these things are not accessible, then it becomes an issue. It means that we are not being transparent. We are working hard, but we are not also transparent to make this information available to the public to access, so that they can validate what we are doing. Now, like my colleague and myself, we went to the field to do the MCS, training and what have you. And I mean, he was telling the fishermen through the PowerPoint presentation that these are number of vessels that NAFA arrested. Some of them were fined, some of them were given warning letter, and which was good. I was so happy. They asked me, Major, get all the Google information where you can put it on the website, so people can know that you are doing well. I was so excited, But I said, man, that NAFA publish the information. Let people have access to them. You see, so that is where transparency is important. Because if you are not transparent, people will feel like you're doing something and you hide it.
Yeah,
usually
say that
Yeah.
people are just fishing
In Labrador, we are watching what happening. Yes, so it become a challenge, So, like for example, the number of vessels that are fishing within Labrador water. You understand? And you have what we call NAFA provided vessel list on their website. You see that? So you don't need to walk from here, you go to NAFA office to say, please give me the vessel list. It's on the website. You can be anywhere around the world, you access it. But then there are other information. Who own these vessels?
Okay.
You understand me? Yeah, the company is there. But who are the people involved? And then
And
who are the
catches.
agents? Yeah. And then the number of tons that they're harvesting from Labrador water. Is it being made public? You see me? These data are there. So that is why we want to make sure that our colleagues all work collectively to make sure that we promote transparency.
Thank you very much. I mean, when it comes to transparency, they say the openness of the fishery and how accessible is it to the people for informed decision making. So I think NAFA has been very, very transparent when it comes to the fishery management of Liberia. What has been done, and since the formation of NAFA, there have been 2 stock assessments that have been conducted. Last year we conducted one, this year one was also conducted. So on the cash issue, when it comes to the kind of cash, if you look at the length and breadth, the 114 learning sites, we have inspectors that are assigned to all of these areas. They are recording catch data that are landed on a daily basis. If you go right now, right behind here, if you go to Bonan's Farm, Bonan Beach right here, Bonan Beach, King Gray, you'll find inspectors there that are actually getting the data that's been landed from those artisanal people. And when it comes to catches being caught on a yearly basis, the statistics department has been doing well. The director has also made it mandatory that the data, the library annual data, is actually posted on the website. I'm so sorry that NAFA has just been able to update the website. Most of the information have been added. You will be seeing that it's coming soon. And the vessel list is also updated on the website. If you look at the website, it's been new. They have just been able to put most of the things together. And the website is actually being built. The lesson, digital lesson is already being uploaded. The information concerning registration of vessel is also being uploaded. So there are more. The reports, annual reports will be posted. And if you look at the vessel listing, as you were saying, the listing comprises of the company. The agent is there. So the agent in Liberia, what we are talking about is not, we always know that the vessel is fishing for Liberia. If from Liberia here, the agent here representing the vessel is being, everything that happened to that vessel or about that vessel is being investigated in Liberia. We are not carrying it to no area. And when it comes to transparency, Liberia, through NAFA, always engage the major stakeholders in the fishery sector. That is the reason why you see LAFA, you see the CMAs are all represented when it comes to management decision on any fishing activity. There is this ARS when it comes to transparency that is being introduced by NAFA, Class B ARS, that NAFA is trying to actually pilot on 400 boats, in the coastal communities. NAFA also call on the stakeholders within the fishing community to engage them that this is what we need. And this is actually good for you as official men so that it will help you in security. Because if you look at people going fishing nowadays, most especially this time of the year, there are many accidents. So with that ARS, we can be able to track where you're fishing, how far you go, and where is the status. So what we are doing now is that with the use of the fishery monitoring center, NAFA is being more transparent. Conflicts within the local community actually have ceased down. We are not saying there's no conflict, but it's actually not to the way that it used to be. So NAFA is doing our best. That is the reason why NAFA is collaborating with the EGF in order that this transparency issue can be mitigated and we can be able to solve some of these problems.
Okay, Councillor, you want to weigh in on some of the activities that you engage with the community?
Yeah, we are engaged in so many activities. Like we said, this CMA is a big issue for our project because it's the key indicators that the project is actually centered around establishing collaborative management associations that the government, based on the 2019 Fisheries Agriculture Development Act, of the National Fishery Aquaculture Authority gave rise to the establishment of the people and to also give them power to manage a certain designated fishing communities or have a specific perimeter of which each co-management association manages. So we have given them several training in terms of how, for example, in terms of leadership. We note well, we didn't negate the local and traditional aspects of governance because that is very key within the fishery sector. But how can we integrate it to the most standardized and modern way of governance? So we provided training for them in leadership and how to do that, and how to respect elders and local leaders and chiefs. Because prior to coming in authority and even the programs, there have been some sort of management and governance within that sector. So we strengthen our capacity to make it more enhanced and able to manage the sector in a more professional and sustainable manner. We provide, okay, if you guys have to be now in a more formalized way, you guys will generate some funding. And if you generate money, there's to be a key issues about management. So how do you manage your finances? We provided them some training in financial management, and that process has helped them a lot. For example, the beginner CMAs, for example, the CMAs in rapper sports, we have three there in three separate areas. So we have trained the people, and that's about our engagement in the community. And one of the key issues I spoke about also was the women. We have strengthened the women because in northern in Liberia, in most sector, women are always second or third place within the sector. So how can we bring the women up to speed? So equity was key. So we introduced the issues of a macro loan system through what called the VSLA. So the VSLA enable women to even contest in the elections because mind you, the CMA is democratic process. It might elect the leaders and officials. So if you see that most of our CMAs, women are holding key positions within the area, and that have empowered engagement within the various communities. How can they do sustainable fishing practices? We'll be educating on harmful fishing practices. We'll be using the word IU. That's IU mean illegal, unreported, or unregulated fishing certificate within the sector. So it is key that we ensure that fishing in the sectors is legalized. People who go there do illegal fishing may likely use dynamites, may likely use all sort of things. And fish bombing or whatever the term is illegal, it's unacceptable, it's not sustainable practices because that's why we talk about fish catch and stocks. Because if you use other chemical and you eat those fish, it has a long-term impact on the human body. So we educate in the community that these practices are not healthy. And if you have to always get fish for the generation to come, that means you have to practice what called sustainable fishing practices. So these issues have been part of a huge engagement within the fishing community.
Mr. Fire, we have to come back to you quickly on the issue about who are your main targets in the sector in terms of providing education for the people in where do you go? Do you have the funding to cover the entire country or you target specific areas?
Yeah, the program will work in 4 counties.
Okay.
We work in Grand Cru, we work in Grand Bassa, we work in Magibi, we work in Grand Kipma. Of course, in Mosorado where we reside. Now, our sea turtle conservation will also collect data from Monrovia here. We'll collect data in Maryland as well. Yeah, on the shark conservation project. And our sea turtle conservation project is concentrated on
all the bee world conservation and
yeah,
all
okay.
of that.
let me just use the
you
word.
can explain it small for our people.
No, when we introduce the slogan like this, like I ask the Basel people, how do you say
you have to get close to your microphone.
How do you say it? You eat some and you keep some. And they say in Dilodi. So that whole conservation issue or sustainable fishery management, that is the whole interpretation. You eat small, you keep some. That's the whole basic of all the things we're doing, fighting against IUU, and then capacity building and everything. At the end of the day, we want the livelihood of our artisanal fishing, of fishing people there, so that they get their livelihood can be improved. Now, let me come to this when it comes to the transparency issue that we're talking about. There are two conventions, like the ILO convention number 1888, and then the ILO Cape Town Agreement.
Mhm.
All right. Yes, NAFA have done well. They are aware of this document, but these documents have not been ratified. The governor of Liberia need to take steps. Now, all of these agreement, they all boil down to the conditions of our fishing crew members, their health and everything. And it all had to do with transparency of the entire fishing board. So these agreements need to be ratified by our government. Government need to take steps. And then we believe that NAFA leadership can do well to be able to put pressure on all key stakeholders, especially our lawmakers, to bring these things on the table. So that, but I understand, like I was in one of the FCWC meeting, and I think FCWC is working along with NAFA that will lead them towards, completing the whole issue of the convention. So we are hoping that a lot of good things will come out so that our people can know that, yes, good thing happening in the sector, the information that the people are supposed to know, they are aware, and this is what happening. So that is why we talk about transparency. To just be clean, come up, oh yeah, we're doing this. They say you can go on the website, So not like NAFA can put this thing on their website, when people go there, they see it. And then it's not bad to list challenges, it's not a bad thing.
Mm-hmm.
You can have challenges, but then what can we do? That's why you sit with your technical team, you sit with partners that look, this is our challenge,
Okay.
But what can we do so that we can be able to solve the challenge? Can we hang here? So in the countryside, we say, let's go hang here, so we can put small idea together. Isn't it? So on the other side, we've organized technical working group, to come up with ideas, a solution to some of the problems that we're encountering, in the sector.
Okay, before this idea of transparency in the sector that you are advocating for, what data did NAFA give you on how the sector was being operated by those who are there, by the local fishermen? Well, did you see the need at the time that there was no transparency? People were just doing things they want to do. What prompted you?
No, the issue of transparency, my brother. We held meeting with a few of our colleagues at NAFA to discuss some of these principal issue. Whether NAFA is meeting them, like for example, this ILO agreement that I just talked about, Convention 188, and then the Cape Town agreement. Yeah. So NAFA has not ready. They have not ready. The government of Liberia, they have not ready ratified this agreement.
Okay.
You understand? So and then two, NAFA is doing extremely well. Like they have documented the number of fishermen in the various counties per counties. Yeah. But then, like, if you, but these information are not made public. Like they are not on their website. That people can easily access them, because these things are key. So that it can. What I also do for NAFA is also maybe for senior management team or for other partners to design other programs. But if you don't know how many people in the sector, sometimes it can give you. It can be a challenge. What development decision that you can make around that. You see it? So like the catches, NAFA collect. They are indeed collecting data. Oh, don't get me wrong. Okay. NAFA is collecting data on a daily basis, when it comes to the number of fish that are landing in our very water, but are these data made public, so that people can access them, like develop them into a report, that annual report, like this is what the small scale fisheries, were able to capture, for this year. This is what the industrial, fishery were able to capture for this year, so that people can have these things, and they are also good for research purpose.
Okay.
And
So
also when the government is doing their annual budgeting, what decision they can make in the fishery sector. So the data can also inform what decision, what development that is needed in the fishery sector. Data, the issue of data is very important.
okay.
Thank you.
So it is important about
So,
the
so,
project.
so you
So
see,
you gotta
so you see, Trogon,
you gotta speak
yeah,
to
so
it,
you see,
Nafa.
for the number of fishermen that are not being published, or fisher folks that are not being published. If you look at any fishing or fishery diary or any other thing about the Liberian national fisheries, you always find out that 33,000 fisher folks. And it's not a number that is actually standing. These numbers are sometimes over because some fishermen they leave, some can die, and there are additions. But we have a baseline. We have a baseline of 33,000. But when it go beyond or above that, we are even talking about more. Even the learning side of 114, we are thinking that the learning side are even more.
Yeah, I'm not cutting it off. Like I think 2020 you did a frame survey.
Yes.
And I think the total fishermen came out to 75,000. If I don't make mistake, 75,000. So like that information, is good.
So this
so that if you can publish it, then we can
they are published. They are published.
Okay.
If published.
Oh, okay, that's good. That's
and
good.
If at all you look at NAFA, you look at the transparency issue of that is the reason why most of these things NAFA issue press release. NAFA also have public service announcement that goes on with stakeholders. If you come with this issue of the ILO convention that is the reason why NAFA is partnering and collaborating with international partners. The FCWC, which is responsible for 6 West African countries, is one of the close partners that is actually helping NAFA when it comes to issue of national or international conventions. And we also, you can't just sign or adhere to a convention without the stakeholders' information or being involved. There are people who are involved with the fishery sector, like Liberian Seamen Union. We have to engage, they are being engaged. NAFA trained a couple of them a few years ago, and they have been having some problems. The NAFA trained people, they build a capacity. But then they were saying, oh, NAFA should do this. We are a new institution, we will not be able to, we build a capacity, but this capacity are being built, and we have been looking at places to really avenue to really put these people there. So we are engaging these people. These are partners, these are stakeholders within the fishery sector. So we engage them, and when you engage them, you tell them that this is what is happening. We need to talk this. And that is the reason why NAFA is actually engaging these people on these things. And you can just sign on behalf of the country. We have to engage the legislation. We have to meet these people. These are stakeholders as well. You have to engage them and to issue something like that on behalf of the country. It's not easy. You have to have the will. And we have a very strong and powerful Director General who makes things happen very quick, who makes things to work out. And because of her idea within the fishery sector, she makes sure that these things are really working around. She's engaging with the national legislature, with stakeholders. With that, I think with our tendency to leadership, Liberia have made strides. Liberia have been able to transpire with all these things. Some things Liberia were not really doing. Since they say here, Liberia has been at the top of these things through the leadership of Emma Nente Glasgow.
Okay, Councillor, let me wrong to you quickly. So, in terms of legal and sustainable fishing sector, how the fishermen, what type of education you provide the fishermen when it comes to issue when they have legal issues and all of that, what type of education do you provide?
The issues of legality within the fisheries sector is all bothered to compliance. We all know that the Fisheries Management Act of 2019 give rise to several things. In fact, I can still be corrected by the colleague from NAFA. I think that was also a way to address the issues of the EU yellow card. And the EU yellow card that we are talking about was a like an international ban on telling Liberia that you are being non-cooperative actors within the sector in terms of legal issues. So NAFA tried to address that through amending the Fishery law, what now we call the Fishery Management and Development Act of 2019. So what we do is to educate local officials within the sector about this information. And with the willingness of NAFA, we have been able to develop what we call at the local level a constitution, which also align with the Fisheries Management Act, the National Fisheries Management Act, to help them give them some legitimacy within the sector. So all the CMAs established have a local constitutions that governs and guides their actions within the sector. We are even working with NAFA to also help them sign something called an MOU. That MOU also solidify um, their efforts within the sector as small fishermen. And how can we sustain? And he talks something about sustainability. They are empower or train people from the seamen, and other people. But if you give this training, sustainability is key. And to sustain it, you need finances. So that's why also the MOU is centered around how can we augment the efforts of the people, though they are in essence volunteering, but volunteering needs some compensation. So how can we do that? The MOU also try to spell out some of these issues. So I think there are more legal issues coming in the sector, and so that will help them to become more compliance, and that will help them become more accountable to the sector. Because if people have some financial strength, then you can able to hold the person accountable for delivering on certain milestone that you may tax them to do. So that's how we kind of think that transparency, NAFA can try to strengthen the efforts in the area, not just establishing this area, but also uh, providing more legal ground on which these people can be able to have some autonomous say within the sector and to help them to be more vocal within the sector.
Okay, you want to weigh in, Mr.
Yeah,
Fire?
like
Just
just to
come
add
in.
to what Makuli was saying, like he talked about the constitution of the CMA. And then I just want you to know that I think earlier on we mentioned the MCS committee. The MCS is the monitoring, control, and surveillance. That is a subcommittee under the Collaborative Management Association at the county level. And then you have the MCS at the national level that our colleague here is supervising. Now, so that committee do regular patrol on sea, and they were trained by NAFA and the Coast Guard with support from technical support from Egypt. And these guys collect data. When they notice any issue of IUU, they report that information. NAFA has a fishery officer at the county level, and they report that information to the fishery officer. They also report that to us, and then we can take it to them. So whatever way it is, so that NAFA can be able to take quick action. And there are also, when we talk about transparency in the sector, we are not only looking at the industrial level. Even we, the fishermen, among ourselves, are we transparent? You understand it? Are we transparent? So it's not only like let's look at NAFA, but let's come to the fishermen. Are we transparent? Because NAFA put ban on the use of dynamite. NAFA put ban on the use of monofilament nets. NAFA put ban on all of these things, the fishing gear that are not supposed to be used in the water. But then most of our fishermen, they use these things.
They still use it.
They are still using it. But then what the question is, what is really causing them to use it? What are the factors that are driving them to use it? So you see it? So these are the things that we, NAFA, all of us, the stakeholders, we need to come together to be able to identify why the people using dynamite, what they cause, why the people are still using the rubber net, they are not using the thread net, why they are using this. So all of these things, they are issues that we need to look at the root causes and we address them. As a family, we address them. As a government, we address them. when these things are addressed, solutions are found and put in place, then you see that once transparency begins from home, when we are going out there to speak on transparency, you know that we'll carry heavy force as a family, as a united force, to make sure that the transparency go it cut across everywhere.
Okay, folks, if you are just joining us, you're listening to the Today Show here on Spoon 107.5 Fabric 101.1 FM and Super 95.5. And also, we are live on Spoon TV, Super TV, and then also Fabric TV here this morning. We have in studio with us our guest from the Environmental Justice Foundation. They're here with us, and also the National Fisheries and Aquaculture Authority also here with us. And we are talking about transparency in the fisheries sector. How is it important for our folks who are in the sector to how they can get education to maintain the sector since their livelihood depends on it. If you're just joining us, we want to welcome you here this morning. We're going to be going to the line to take some calls. But again, before we do that, quickly, NAFA, people want to know your medium of communication to the local fishermen. How frequently you do it and by what means?
Okay, so thank you so much. So what NAFA normally do is NAFA, we have stakeholder engagement. So what NAFA do is that they call the fisher folks sometimes to meeting and tell them what to do. We also have press releases. We have public service announcement, and we have feedbacks. We have people who normally come back with feedback to NAFA technical offices and tell us that this that you are about to do is not. I think you can remember certain time there were 6 vessels that came, and NAFA had the stakeholder engagement. The stakeholder said, "No, we don't want the vessels in our water," and NAFA now give them licenses until they left. So these are things that NAFA listen to. We also have the social media online platforms that NAFA have. You go on the Facebook page of NAFA, you see it. NAFA has a communication and media department that normally upload most of its activities on the Facebook page. We also have collaboration, like what we are doing here with EJF. We have partnership with EJF. We have CAFO, that is the Cali of media, something.
HSF Policy Development.
Yeah. So we also have collaboration with CR. So these are people that we have collaboration with. And there are also other platforms that NAFA use, like the EJF have some platform that actually publish most of the fishery activities. We also have the World Bank. The World Bank do that. We have international organizations like the SCWC, the TMT. We collaborate with them so that we can be able to disseminate information to the public.
Okay. So there you have it. We will go to the line. Mr. Fire, want to weigh in before we go to the line?
Yes, before we go to the line, I just want to just make it clear. You see, this platform like Top Fisheries is a platform for NAFA to tell the Liberian people all the good thing they are doing. You understand me? All the good thing are happening, which is good. So it's also another means of transparency. You understand? Yeah. So we commend them, for participating in the discussion. We are grateful for that, cooperation. Yeah. So I just wanted to add that there to it before you go to the line.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Augustine Fire, Program Director, Environmental Justice Foundation, and he's also here with Mr. Morris Kanswa, and also we have Mr. Ibrahim Sa, who is for NAFA. They are here with us this morning in studio talking about transparency in the fisheries sector. So welcome. If you are just joining us, you can call us on 07777 1075 777 1075 or 0888 107 here to be live here this morning on the program, the today's show, so we can interact, talk to your future people, those who are in the sector and those who are also concerned. You can call to ask any question this morning on 0777 or 0555 here to be live on Spoon 107.5 and Fabric 101.1 FM, so we can have the discussion. Let me see what I can take this person here this morning. Oh, you have to call, keep your calls coming in. Let me see, let me activate this line. Yeah. But you want to tell us as we wait our
So let me
callers.
just
You
come in.
want to
He also made some key issues on NAFAD efforts within the sector. Yes, NAFAD been making some significant strides. We as EGF partner to the government. We more or less serve as a catalyst to kind of push them more to do more in this area, because you see that our sector, despite being old, but it's kind of a little bit new in terms of all of these global status that we are committing ourselves to. And you know that the government also been constrained in different ways and forms, but NAPA have been doing some tremendous efforts to enhance and strengthen the sector. So it's very key that as they make these efforts, try to make it more public so that people can understand what they are doing, because we think that there are more to be done in the sector. More information need to be shared and disseminated so that people can know who are those doing these things and what are those informations that someone asking will all take a phone and calling Emma Glasgow or calling the director for. So these are the key issues, and that would push them as a partner. You show that they want to meet all these applications.
And then
let me just come in. So I think NAFA have been doing well. If you look at the visibility of NAFA now, it's even more visible than it was before. Who knew NAFA, fishery, the fishery sector? There was nobody without. So it was during this time, because of the visibility that was created under this dynamic leadership of Madam Emma Mete Glasgow, NAFA became a household name in the Republic of Liberia. Even if you look at everywhere today, the past 6 years, NAFA was one of the entities that was healed. NAFA was one of the entities that people used to talk about. And the visibility was actually showing, and everything about NAFA was on the radio.
Okay.
So I think NAFA has been transparent in doing all of its activity. We need to improve with some activity. We know that not everything
good.
is actually
That's good. Yeah.
not
There's some
everything is
improvement
perfect.
needed. Yeah.
There is some room for improvement, and I think we need to look at it. But when it comes to the issue of the yellow card with the EU, NAFA has done extremely well. And the EU said it's praising NAFA that since the engagement with NAFA from 2015 up to this time, NAFA have done, from 2017, NAFA has done extremely well. They have, what all have been requested by the EU, NAFA has certified almost 85% of it.
Okay.
So there are only minor issues that NAFA have actually been able to, not be able to, it's not only now, it's not on NAFA, it's on the Republic of Liberia.
so
Okay.
let me just also add to some of the good things NAFA is doing, like the National CMA Policy Document. The Director General and the board of NAFA, I must say thank you to them to already sign that document, to approve that document. So now, for the first time in the history of Liberia, with the support, the financial support from the European Union, implemented by EGF, NAFA was able to sign and approve the National CMA Policy of Liberia. So kudos to the family of NAFA. And then this coming October 4, the first Friday in October, we'll be having the signing ceremony between the ceremony of the MOU, the Memorandum of Understanding between NAFA and the Collaborative Management Association. So that will be taking place at NAFA High Office. So, like, my colleagues are saying, yeah, they are doing a lot of good things. It's just that we still need to do more. So, like the 15% he's talking about that need to be addressed, rely on the country. Let us engage all the people that need to be engaged for the 15% to be settled, so that that yellow card can be removed from Liberia.
Okay, as we wait calls, because I know our callers are interested in politics. Since we are not discussing politics, we're discussing, this issue that would benefit the country, generate increase revenue generation and all of that. It is good that people can call in to make some of the points they want to make. But as we wrap up, Mr. Fire, you want to tell us how can what are the maybe some of the buttons and that NAFA can press to increase transparency? They making progress, but maybe they need to do more as we wrap.
Yeah, especially to ratify these international agreements.
Okay, let me just take this person here quickly. Hello, good evening. Good morning.
Good morning, Spoon. How are you, sir?
Good morning. Hello?
I have been following. My name is Nimne Swan.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
Okay. The person just holding the line. They don't want to talk. Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Are we getting the person? I don't think.
Oh.
Good morning.
Even though my phone just when I stay on the show, my phone just dies. So
okay.
You won't see me on camera.
We are not getting you. I don't know why. You're coming in very, very much low. Let me see what I can get you. I'm not getting you still. So I think you a call back. Yeah, go ahead, Mr. Fire.
Yeah, what was the question again? He said, what can we do?
Especially
what
NAFA
can press.
Yeah.
Now, you see, NAFA, the Director General is the eyeball of the president. Mm-hmm. You understand it? Yeah, is the eyeball of the president in the fisheries sector. So what the Director General need to do is to sit down with the president. So look, Mr. President, these are international agreements that we have not ratified. Can we work with the national legislature to see how this agreement can be done? You understand it? Now, those things that NAFA can do on their own, especially making the data public, the fishery data public, let NAFA take step also to make the data public on their website, and then so that people can be able to access them.
No, okay, let me take course. Let me hold you right there and take some of these people that are calling.
Hello.
Hello. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. How you doing, sir? This is Ellis. I'm calling from NAFA.
Okay, Ellis, welcome. Calling from NAFA.
I'm sorry to say that the guest CEO there, he started the work on NAFA while he's saying that we have done well about the yellow card. NAFA has done nothing about the yellow card. The first thing I want you to establish is that asking how we got a yellow card. It is because we are in context on the nation has got a yellow card. There is not a serious thing. Nothing fake is happening at NAFA for somebody to say NAFA is doing well, sanitary money and this that. We are calling on the president to make decisions at NAFA. There are too many things happening at NAFA, more than the topic. So nobody is going to say NAFA is doing well.
No, we're not discussing politics here. We're discussing transparency. How you yourself, Dana, can help NAFA to promote transparency in the sector, like the Environmental Justice Foundation is doing. Those are the initiatives we talk about. We're not talking about president will remove somebody and put somebody there, this and that. Even the president put Jesus down there. We still need transparency in all of that. So keep your calls coming in 07777 1075 or 0888 1101075 to be live here. I just said it as if politics in a country. Yeah, yeah, Mr. Fire, you were talking.
Yeah, we are not here to discuss politics. Yeah, we are technicians. Yeah, we wherever there are problems, we say yeah. So we want to inform our listeners out there. Whatever issues you have with NAFA, put them aside. It is about time we have a united front so that those issues can be addressed through whatever means possible, and then so that we can have a transparent fishery sector that people will enjoy, that the food, the fish coming from the sea and coming to the market, entering our tables in our various homes, meet the standard that is being set by the government.
Okay.
These are things we're talking about.
Let me take this person here. Hello.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning. You are live here.
Okay, my name is Mohammed Sharif, and this is the Standard Authority.
Standard Authority, Mohammed Sharif. Go ahead.
Yeah, okay, I want to appreciate the studio guests and all of their session this morning, but I think NAFA need to work more with all line institutions to ensure that, especially when it comes to the use of dynamite and other unacceptable material in the fishing activity, they need to work with other institutions to publicize the information to ensure that those individuals who are still interested in the use of dynamite know the effect of the dynamite on the commodity that they are producing. Because when the dynamite is used to hunt fish, it causes a lot of contamination for the fish, and it also causes contamination, insect or hazards for the consumers. And so lastly, I'd like to conclude this issue. When we come to the radio, let us come with truth so that the public can be actually informed about what is going on in the institutions, and then we can help to correct the wrongs. I just listened to the last caller before me when he tried to make his point, and you guys are saying politics. It is not about politics. The individual is saying he works with the institution, and he's trying to make his point on some of the information provided.
No, but the individual is calling on the president to go and do all of that. You know, we know what
No,
people
but I don't think he was saying politics. When he said he was trying to disagree with some information that was provided by the gentleman from NAFA. You are giving him the chance to provide the information, especially when it comes to the rectification of the yellow card. Or you try to provide some information. The institution is making no effort.
No, but he provided the information. I think you did not get. He provided the information and later on flip over to the president coming to take decision there. He provided the information. But thank you for your recommendation. We take other people on the line this morning. Let me try to move over to this MTN line. Good morning. Welcome to the radio. Hello. Good morning. Okay, I think that person isn't ready here. Yeah, Mr. Fire, we have to conclude.
Yeah, I think it is our hope that this platform, like Talk Fisheries, this type of discussions with our colleagues from NAFA, it will be able to open our eyes to learn other things, to understand the challenges that we are going through and how these challenges can be solved. So nobody is sugarcoating anything here. You see, there's a way when you are saying the truth, there's a way you can say it, it will not create confusion. And then if you are saying truth another way, it can also incite violence. And then we don't want violence. No. The issue is, let's discuss it as technicians. And then at the end of the day, what is the way forward? You seen it?
We still
So
having many
yeah,
calls
so
coming in. I wanted to squeeze one or two
yes,
in.
yeah,
So
squeeze them
let's
in.
see. Hello. Good morning. Good morning. You are live here this
Yeah,
morning on the
okay.
radio.
I'm here listening to the discussion. I want to thank those guys in studio. I think should be doing justice to the disco. The man, the CEO of this particular radio station, is a man who is big forward. He brought government to the past and criticizing. The young man, Paul, you try to give contrary view, and you say you describe it as politics. You didn't do that. Tomorrow, I was just constrained to call. Thank you very much.
So,
Okay, so
you want to address?
Let me just address what is actually trending. Actually, on the issue of the yellow card, what the journalist say is NAFA is not doing nothing. I think he's not doing good to NAFA. The requirement set out by the EU were that NAFA should strengthen a legal regime. And I think we all here know that NAFA had done that. NAFA had uh, established the amended and development management law. NAFA has done the policy. NAFA has done the regulation. So what else do we want for NAFA to do? And they are saying NAFA is not doing well. EU says NAFA should establish a monitoring center purely for vessels that are fishing the area beyond national jurisdiction. And NAFA established that. If you go at the Fishery Monitoring Center now, you have group of people there. You have teams that are monitoring vessels that are not only in Liberian water, but vessels that are flagged to Liberia, flagged vessels that are engaged in fishing and fishing related activities, that are fishing, that are taking fishery products from vessels that are fishing. So what NAFA is doing is that they are monitoring the vessel, and you are not only going to monitor where they're taking the fish from, but what kind of vessel. The vessels that are being donating the vessels fish, what are they doing? Are they legal vessels? So we do due diligence before you issue lessons to transship. We call it transshipment authorization.
Okay. All right, Council, you want to wrap up? You're not in the live feed, but you want to wrap up quickly, and then we can close
yes.
with Mr. Fire.
So thank you. And today's we started the show with was it Cool FM? OK FM. We started of course with OK FM, and we have continued with our engagements within the sector with now Spoon FM, and our effort is to help the government and Liberia as partner to strengthen this sector for the benefits of the locals and the country at large, because almost 80 to maybe 95% of us eat fish. So fish serve as an important source of protein for all of us. So how do we ensure that the fish we eat are healthy, that will help our body to resist other disease and illnesses? So that's what we're fighting for. And also, how do we generate revenue in the sector? And that is why we're promoting and working with NAFA to ensure that this sector is strengthened. So our efforts here is not political. I understand we have other issues, but if we're addressing the issues, we are out to address this in a more professional and cordial manner so that we understand, like my colleague is saying, we are all technicians and our effort is driven towards, we understand some of the challenges. And the representative from NAFA alluded that there's some challenges that need to be addressed. But again, every government sector have challenges. So I just want to thank all our callers and the concerns. We'll continue with the engagements, and you can engage us and share any information through NAFA communication. People will be willing to receive your feedback and ensure how we all can enhance transparency within the sector. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Fire. You want to?
Yeah. I also want to acknowledge on this platform that over the years, EGF, in collaboration with NAFA, we have been training journalists in fisheries reporting.
Mm-hmm.
So Honorable Bois, the Deputy Director General for Technical Services, has participated in this training, providing information, what type of information these journalists need to know, and how to access them. You understand? What is NAFA? What is all about the one NAFA? What NAFA stand by? What the laws that govern NAFA? So most of these journalists, and the purpose is journalists in Liberia, they cover different activities, but not much is being talked about when it comes to the fishery sector.
Mhm.
What are those good things in the fishery sector that the public don't know? So that is why we've been involving journalists, training them. Look, try to look at the fishery sector. There is a huge potential in the sector, that employed over 33,000 people. And then report the issues, let people know. So it's another transparency issue, that is being addressed there involving journalists. So the journalists are key stakeholder in promoting transparency in Liberia. So we want to commend NAFA, by taking part in that training to provide information to journalists around in Liberia. So we also want to say, look, my man, let's address these issues looking at scientific means. Let's address the issue looking at policy means. Let's address the issue looking at the economic factor. Thank you very much. And I also want to say a very big thank you to the European Union for their support. I think starting the program from OKFM and then coming to the next phase of the program again will be going to another radio station. So it's also like engaging every media institution, so that they can know more about the fishery, so that when they're discussing activities in their studio, let it talk about fishing. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Fire. You wrap all right?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much. Okay, my name is Strokan Flama. I'm here in your company this morning and bringing you happenings in the country. Thank you so much for listening. Those who call, we say thank you for calling. Those who tried calling and did not get through, we say yeah. Thank you for also following us this morning. We had with us in a studio this morning. We had our transparency group, I can call them Environmental Justice Foundation, in partnership with the National Fisheries and Aquaculture Authority, and they spoke about transparency in the sector. How can they promote transparency in the sector, along with NAFA, to enhance fishery activities in the country and also increase revenue for fishermen, and also the country, and increase the revenue envelope of the government of Liberia and all of that, and some of those issues confronting the sector. Thank you for being there with us, and let's talk Fisheries, sponsored by the European Union Communities for Fishery project implemented by the Environmental Justice Foundation in partnership with the National Fisheries and Aquaculture Authority. Thank you. Bye-bye.